Hello, good afternoon. Welcome to Easy 8. Today is not our online painting club show. Today is a different thing that I haven't done for a really long time. Today I'm going to be doing a little product review, something that I've been wanting to do for quite some time. This is actually the first product review that I've done in this studio. The last one I've just done, I've just checked on YouTube, and boy, my old videos look dated. Was well over 18 months ago. So if you're watching, welcome to my first product review for absolutely ages. You may also notice that if you're a connoisseur of Easy 8 shows, that the sound quality is different because I finally have got my expensive, or more expensive, microphone up and working. So please use this opportunity to tell me how you feel about the sound quality. I've always got my little gaming mic backup ready to rock and roll should we need to do that, but I'm hoping that you'll enjoy the new quality. And yeah, I've done a few tests on it and I'm really happy with it. Anyway, today's product review, like I said, I've been wanting to do a product review for a little while, but I don't often do them because that's not my usual shtick. My shtick, I suppose, would be that I do live shows where you can come along, find some company on a Friday evening, and kind of paint your models along with me and the rest of the Easy 8 community. Today, well, not today, sorry. In general, what I normally do is I like to, if I'm going to do a product review, I will do something that just means a little bit to me, or something that I'm completely fascinated by, or something that's kind of taken me by surprise. Because frankly, out there's so much stuff already on YouTube that you can go and see. So why would you come to Easy 8? You can go to much more professional outfits for that. However, I've been blown away by this product recently, and I kind of wanted to share it with you. I noticed that we've got Staff that's coming to join us in the live chat. Hi, Staff. Sorry I missed you on Friday, he says. Hi, mate. I hope you're doing well. Thanks for coming along. This was just like a little sneaky video that I decided to throw in today, and I've done a couple of little upgrades, you know, in the background of the running of this show. So more than anything, I suppose it's actually a bit of a test run for that. Anyway, what I'm going to do now is I'm going to take you straight over to the workbench. But before that, just a quick reminder that if you like what we do here at Easy 8, be it product reviews or I keep calling it the Easy 8 Online Painting Club. I could just call it the Painting Club. If you like what we do here, then please do consider subscribing, because every little gesture that you make really impacts the show. And we're growing all the time. So thank you so much for being a part of what we do. Even if it's not for you, share the word of Easy 8, get it out there so that the community can grow. Maybe it'll turn into something that you do like. Anyway, let's get over to the workbench, shall we, so I can show you what it is that we're going to do. So, dominating the screen here, and I have kind of moved my webcam around a little bit. I'm hoping that this is going to be enough sort of distance for it. So you can see here that I've got, it's called an expansion set. I suppose they are all expansions, I suppose. But basically the idea is that it's a modular terrain set to go onto your Wargames tables. These are, I believe, well, it says here 60 centimeters, which I think is a foot. So if you had 4 of these in a square, you'd have a 4-foot table, which is the average table anyway. Kez has joined us. Hi, Kez. Sounds good. Brilliant. Thank you very much. Thanks for helping me with the sound test yesterday as well, by the way. So in this set is 2 river tiles. I believe it's 2. When I originally bought these, I bought these from a company called the Pit Gaming Store, who I met down in Paws, the Plymouth Amateur Wargaming Society. They have a game show that goes down there every February. And I met, oh, my memory now, I believe it was Matt from the Pit Gaming Shop. And he talked to me for ages about these things, and I just saw them all laid out. They're absolutely fantastic. They don't make them, they are a stockist of them. They have a very good sort of relationship with AnomaliaOriginals.com. That's the name of the company that make this. Anyway, I was talking to him for ages. I thought, you know what, I would really like some rivers. So I bought a rivers set. I've got another box down there. When I opened it, it was a mist box. So it was slopes. So it's got hills and things like that in there. So I got in contact with Matt from the Pit Game Shop. I was like, I'm so sorry, I will send these back if you want. And they were like, no, hang on to them, it's fine. They sent me a Rivers box set. Now, it's a big shout out for Matt at the Pit Game Shop. I hope I've remembered your name and your company right, because that would be embarrassing. But a big shout out to you guys. Thank you so much for that very, very kind gesture. I'm going to, I actually made a thing, I haven't done any kind of description for this video. Lots of hand movements today. I haven't done any kind of description for this video yet. When I upload it, once it's kind of saved or whatever, in about 24 hours I'll be able to edit it. I'm going to put all the details in there so that if you want to, you can go and check them out and give them some much needed love because they are fantastic. Cool. John's joined us from Out of This World Models and Minis live review. Hi, John. I did not expect anybody to be coming along to this show. I thought it was going to be a bit sneakier than that. So, hi, welcome. Anyway, what I wanted was some terrain boards so that I can mix up my games a little bit by having gaming mats or terrain, scatter terrain, or whatever I wanted. I play a mixture of 28mm war games and 50mm war games. So whatever terrain things I do, likely I'm going to have two different terrain sets for it. I suppose you could argue that if it was all just kind of normal, like grasslands and hills, then I could do it for either. But these rivers, I believe that they are kind of intended for 28mm. That's the impression I'm getting. So if I'm going to make them for 15mm, I'm going to have to do a little bit of sculpting, I think, just to kind of make it more suitable for 15mm, which is fine. That's absolutely fine, and I might do that on another video sometime in the future. Anyway, these were £25. Isn't that lovely? If you buy them through the Pit Gaming Shop, you get a 15% discount, and if you buy them from the Pit Gaming Shop when you go to one of the game shows that they attend, you'll get a massive 20% off, I believe it is. So yeah, absolutely incredible offer. Anyway, what I'm going to do, I'm going to open it up. Hopefully you can see all of this. So I haven't even opened this one at all yet. I'm just going to peel open this little Ziploc bit here. Ooh, I'm going to try my best to keep this video at about half an hour. I've got a couple of other product review videos and they are around about the half-hour mark. However, I know that these are a little, not complicated, they're a little bit more involved than the other things that I've done, because the other ones have just been like some paint or something like that, or some paint remover or something. That's just liquid in the bottle. These have got parts to them which I'm going to try and build on the thing. So opening it straight up, they've got a really intuitive sort of instruction manual. Now, as you can see here, all the parts, they basically are all different sheets, all different layers. And then there's like a little lattice work underneath that lifts it up off your table. The idea is that you can buy like another little box set of like little clips, and you can clip all of your tiles together, and they are completely interchangeable. So you can have like within foot square constraints, you can just completely change your gaming table all the time. And if you add more and more and more of these, have like a little shelf on the corner or something, then you can just select whatever you want and match them together, and your gaming table will always be different. They've got like boosters, so they can have different heights, and then you can have all your different hills or your slopes or your craters, whatever, on different heights or depths. And I think that's just a fantastic idea. The only drawback with these, and I mentioned this when I was talking to Matt, was that when you got them set up on the games table, and there was a gaming table beside us ongoing to demonstrate, was that all of this lattice work underneath is exposed from the side, and I like a really, really neat table to look at, because you spend so many hundreds of hours making and painting all of your wargame stuff. I just like it to be neat and tidy and rendered. I don't even like dice on the table. I think that's probably a little bit of OCD kicking in there. But I suggested, wouldn't it be nice if you had like a little clip that fits on the side, and you could paint it black or whatever colour, and it just kind of covers that up. And it was like, this company, they actually listen to all customer feedback, and there's a lot of suggestions that people have made over the months or years, or however long they've been running, and they've included them in there, and he did say that he was going to pass it on. I actually think I might reach out to Anomalia myself and just be like, hey, I've done this video for you, also this is my suggestion, and I wonder if they would include that in there. If they don't, I think it'll be an easy fix anyway. That is the only criticism that I've got, and it's really constructive, so yay for me. Let's have a little look in here. It's got really, really easy instructions to follow, and it should tell you exactly what you've got in here. The slopes one's a lot more involving, because there's like 3 different slopes in there, and they've all got their own different bits and pieces on them. Here's a little sort of introduction to their connection combs. So when you buy a little box of connectors, you get these little shapes and you get these little shapes, and it helps you lock them all together. Avoiding the use of magnets. These actually physically hold your boards together. Magnets are great, they are a bit more expensive. You've got to build little slots to put them in, glue them in, make sure that the polarities all line up, because that can be fun. But they can be knocked by an accident and they can come apart. This will physically hold your terrain boards together. I like either or, I think that's great. So, looking here, I've got like a base board, and then I've got 2 top bits that form the shape of my riverbanks. All I'm worried about is the distance of bringing those together, because I would like to have a bridge for my 15mm Wargames. I play tanks like water tanker set in World War II, often in Northern Europe, so I'd like to have a riverbank that would allow me to have a bridge that would fit across. Been looking at 2 bridges from Debris of War. I might do another video on those, so I'm not going to go too much into that right now. But Debris of War do 2 15mm bridges. One's a double arch, one's a single arch, and they've got about, I think it's about 30mm between the 2 of them in distance, and I think they're about 11 to 15 centimeters long. So the river will need to come in if it's any longer than that, and that's just going to be a simple case of sculpting, really, isn't it? Anyway, river straight parts. They do river corners and all sorts, swirly bits and whirly bits and whatever. So I've got some letters telling me all the different pieces that I've got. I'm not really one for reading through instructions in a massive amount. I just kind of like to look at it, take it in, and go like, oh yeah, I'm gonna mess this up. So I've got here, it tells me that if I put the main bed down on the top, that'll be somewhere in the middle, and then I can put these little liney bits in there, and that'll create my river. And then those bits go down on the top over that. It makes a load of sense. So what they're actually doing there is creating a certain amount of depth, because this is made from sheets of MDF, but not any ordinary MDF. This is, as I was told by the Plymouth gaming store, a higher density MDF, where it is really, really resilient to all the brutal things that we modelers like to put things through. So it's really resistant to sculpting, painting, gluing, where MDF, traditional MDF, will warp almost instantly the moment you put any moisture into it. And it can be really tricky to avoid that, but this stuff apparently, under good authority, does not do that. So that's a win. They also do their laser printing in a way that, as the laser passes over it, has a little blower, and it blows away all the soot. So even though it still has a slight MDF burnt smell, it's not really, really powerful, and it means it's cleaner. Also, they've got really, really clean edges, so there should be, as I've been told, no need to sand any of these parts, and they fit really well together. Now, like I say, I'm a real pain in the backside for not really reading the instructions properly. So I'm just going to pull these things apart like that, and I'm going to delve on in. Okay, so if I'll take these bits out here. I assume that they're not a part of the build, they're just the cut-out bits. Oh, so satisfying. There is ever so slight little bit of raised edges along here. Does anyone else think that the music is a bit too loud? Oh, yeah. Do you know what? I can turn that down. As part of my sound tests the other day, I was like reducing the sound. I can bring that down. It's all a part of being with the new microphone. So if that's too loud, I will reduce the level of the volume for you. Here we go. Some of the music soundtracks as well could be just louder than others. Anyway. Yeah, music is louder than normal. It's actually my microphone is quieter than normal, but there you go, music is down a little bit. Apologies for that. Thank you for the feedback. Okay, so there's those 2 top parts, or is it top parts or bottom parts maybe? I don't know. Okay. I'm going to avoid the bits that don't have numbers on them, because I think that might be... Oh no, it's got little arrows on there. That's 7G... Oh, I'm mixing it all up now, aren't I? Crazy. I'm just going to pull them out. I can't help myself. Okay. Does anybody else do this? Does anybody else Like when they're opening all their models or whatever, just like take everything off the sprue. It's so bad. Okay, so how many? Well, actually, I might have 4 rivers in here. I can't remember now. Okay. What I'm going to try and do is, without destroying everything in the studio, is just lift this box away for a second. John's giving me thumbs up for saying that the music sounds better. Hopefully it sounds better. If it goes too quiet or too loud, you do need to let me know, so that way I can keep it more entertaining for you. It also keeps me company as well. Nice to have some music to talk along with. Now I'm just popping out the little squares on the ends here. It's weird having such a wide area. Normally I'm very, very close. Just pop out those little squares there so that it can all fit together. Here's these 2 bits here. I think that part and that part are the side bits, because I can tell because they've got straight long edges. These little bits here as well. It's all coming together. And I believe that these should match the edges here. Looking at that, it looks like it does, doesn't it? So, there we go. That gives it some depth. Otherwise, it's just going to be one sheet of MDF. One DF. Oh dear, one sheet of MDF, that was difficult. Deep, and obviously you want it to be deeper. Now I could like get some sculptor mold or any kind of other sculpting thing and just build up a big riverbank all the way along and pop a bridge on the top. That would look really cool. That's my intention anyway. All the parts appear to be numbered, so go ahead and pop the lot. Yeah, you're absolutely right, but the thing is that the parts are numbered sometimes on the bits between. So this one's like got a little arrow saying 7G here and here. So I probably ruined it, but I think there's only a few parts to each board, so I think I'll be okay. I just like to get involved. Just like, get me in there. Okay, so that one would be like that. Okay, now what I'm going to do is I'm going to pop all of these little rectangles out here. These are the bits that clip on to the lattice work underneath. I'm just going to use the back end of my tweezers. There we go. I'm being quite aggressive with this. God, that's a tough one. Watch my fingers. God dear. It's a toughie. Easy strongman club. Nice. So that's all of those pushed out. Some little bricks there for Mike on a Friday if he wants to build his tavern. Now, I've been told that this should clip together without the need for any glue, but I do have some PVA glue, just some kids craft glue, kids PVA glue, just in case, because, well, you never know. So, just going to pop these little bits out here. That one came out easy. Oh, I'm getting stronger. Getting stronger. It says. One more. God, so tough. Oh, that's gone on the floor. Something for the cat to chase and eat later on. Right, so that is going to go underneath, but for now, I'm just going to pop them on the top. Not like you have to shout it and go like, no, Danny, it doesn't go on the top. But I am the sort of person who will forget that and then put it in the wrong place later anyway. What am I doing? There, like that. Cool. So that's a nice little depth. And what I was actually thinking about was getting some, loving the long-handled tweezers. I've got some long ones as well. I did what you did, John. I bought some clamping ones, and then when I bought them this morning, I found my old ones, but these are better. But yeah, I've got a couple of clampy ones now, so thanks for the advice. You're absolutely right, I should have done that. What I was thinking about this is I was going to do like a resin feature in here, because I've got, on top of the worktop here, I've got some UV resin, which I could do another product review on as well, couldn't I? This one is a transparent resin that reacts, it sets with UV light. Oh, so cool. Got a UV torch to go with it. So a really simple way of maybe creating some water effects. So I've got to learn how to spray paint manky looking water. Kes says that the music is at a good level now. Thanks very much. Cool. Right, let's move those out of the way for a second, because that one's going to go here. that right? And that one's going to go there. Oop. That one's going to go... Actually got those upside down. I can tell by the soot marks on them. Like that. Yeah? Yeah. That one will go here. You can see how wide it's getting now. And then this one's going to go here. That's cool, man. I like that. They're not going to be staggered. They just will have depth to them. And I was thinking that I could also... You know those little rock molds that you can get where you could just like pour plaster or put putty into them and you get like a really nice rock face? I could even do that along the edges if I want to. But what I am going to do, because I'm not a geologist, is I'm going to actually have to do a little bit of research into what rivers look like in that area at that time, because they might just be like muddy riverbanks. I don't really know, to be honest with you. So let's just pop that down there out of the way for a minute and come back in and have a look at this, because this is the confusing, complicated bit, which I think I might actually have to go to the instructions for. Okay, cool. Now, what these guys do have, if you were interested, they don't just have rivers, they have such a wide range of different terrain pieces. I highly recommend going and have a look at their website. Their website is anomaliaoriginals.com. Does it say on here somewhere? You can find it through any one of these platforms, I suppose. But if you were to go and have a look at their website, they've got an interactive terrain builder. It's like a 3D viewer where you can select what tiles you want, build up your own table digitally in a 3D viewer, and then that gives you the product codes, add them to basket, and then buy them. So that's really cool. Staff's there going like, measure the distance between riverbanks. I will, but I've still got to build it in that same way. It's only when it comes to sculpting the riverbanks that I'll need to put that in there. But I will measure it, or we'll measure it as part of this video, don't worry, that we can all see. Right, just taking these little bits out the side here. So, I need an A. An A. I think it's just that one there, isn't it? I'm just making sure that it looks like what it does in the picture. It doesn't. This one's got 2 tabs on the top. This one's got 1. So maybe there's another sheet that I need to find. Well, I'm going to take them all off of the thing because it might be easier to see when they're not all together like that. That's a good idea. What I'm going to do is I'm going to put all the D's together, all the E's, C's, B's, A's, you know what I mean. There's a D, there's an E. I'm going to put them together in alphabetical ascending. How's that? Not too much of a worry, so stuff could always be the rhyme. Yeah, it could be. That's another thing as well. If I wanted to have rivers for 28mm games, I could still bring the terrain board into it, as long as there's nothing on that board that represents the scale, like a bridge, because it would be out of scale, right? So it's an easy thing to do. It's just that if I want to have that bridge built into the table, then it needs to be, you know, to scale, doesn't it? This is fun. This is therapeutic. Have we gone over the half an hour mark yet? Probably going to be about an hour, aren't we? Can't even see. What happens if I push this button? It's telling me how long we've been running for? I can't see. It's actually hidden a lot of the details from me today. I don't know why that is. Oh, I can see up there. 24 minutes. There we go. Yeah, we're at the half hour mark. So if you were looking for a short video, apologies. But I think it's worth doing. I wanted to do it without any kind of opening the box preparation and stuff. I didn't want to do that. I wanted to kind of do it as a bit of a reveal, really, because it's nice to be able to see that sort of stuff, isn't it? Oh, it's torn a little bit there. So many little bits. Okay, there's a couple of C's. A couple of B's. Got some D's up here. Let's get those bits out. What do you guys do with your little bits of MDF offcuts? Do you save them? Put them in the log burner? Or do you use them as a part of terrain building? So I know that Geoff at Purple Line Creations, my dad, uses all these little bits for bulking out like sculpted areas. So like if you're doing a riverbank or something like that, all these little bits make good space fillers. Okay, that's all of those done. Oh, there's a little bit on this one here there. I wonder if I'm missing another piece perhaps. Maybe the instructions are a little bit wrong, like they got like different pieces to go in. The river sections level like Villas Bocage, if that's how you spell that. Unfortunately, my live chat comments have been pushed right to the side, so I can't see half the sentences. I'm going to pull that right in there. There we go. You could use the river sections to drop the road like the Villas Bocage. No idea how to spell that. You're very close. Don't worry about spelling. Save the terrain detritus. Yeah. Urban rebel. Absolutely. Cool. That was a tough one to get out. So I've got an A, B, C, D, and E. What I'm wondering is, are there like multiple river sets in here that have different starting things, or are they numbered correctly throughout? So I should have. How many pieces should I have here? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 4, 6, 8. Okay, cool. Well, do you know what? I'm just going to go for it. Maybe it's just hidden behind there. Nope. I don't know. It's this little tab here that I'm looking for. See that? So this is A. It's got that middle tab there. It doesn't show up on here. But whatevs. I'm just gonna go for it. So I have my river set A. Then I need to get B, C, C, B. Okay, that should be simple, right? We're going at the ends. I need the B at the beginning. Boom down. They are looser than not having to use glue. I'm going to have to use some glue. I'll use proper English words today. Okay, that's actually quite easy, isn't it? So what you gotta go or catch up, says staff. No worries, mate. Thanks for coming along. Didn't expect to see you here today. So what a lovely surprise. Cheers, mate. Take care. And then the E goes at the end. I'm just guessing now. So the D's, yeah, the D's go across this way, isn't it? Yeah. Just like that. The other D goes across like that. You can't see it all in the frame, unfortunately. There we go. And now the E section goes right on the end over here. So I've got a line of all four. Does that make sense? You've got all these little bits here that I'm going to try and avoid sanding if I can, just because it would be nice to be able to speed through it. A little bit flexible, but I think that's all going to iron out when I put the sections on the top. So, let's come back to these bits here. It tells me now that I'm going to need to put down the big rectangular bit with the two little depth thingies in there as well. I can see how it's all going together. It's very exciting. And it says here that you can reverse the pieces, you flip them over, whatever, to kind of create different looking tiles so they're not all the same, which is a great idea. So what I need now is this piece. And this piece should slot somewhere into here. Right, have I got it the right way? I'm going to go onto here this way. No, I haven't looked at this properly. So that's my A. B. Gonna go on top of. Goes on this way. See how it's slotting into the sides here? Try it. There we go. Look at that. So it's dropped down into this. So it's not like these side bits have to sit on top. They're actually going to be on top of these edges. So it's, yeah, that is very cleverly built. And then I'm going to make sure the sooty sides go down first of all. Is that right? Or does it go here? Yeah, look at that. So that slots into there. And this bit slots into here. Oh my gosh, that's so cool. And then these bits, just make sure that I got the right one. This one's going to go here. And you've got all these little holes here that line up with all the frames underneath. We've got the right shape there. I don't have, do I? Okay, cool. Okay. Look at that. Well, that is cool, man. And this little bit slots down on top like that. And now it's sturdy. Now it's going to go anywhere. There's sort of a tiny little bit of PVA glue on here. That's incredible. And it does hold itself pretty well. That doesn't need actually any glue. I'm going to glue it because it what I don't want it to do is fall apart when I pick it up if there is like a loose bit in there. But they were right. You don't need to do much sanding at all. There's a little bit of like sprue marks down the sides here. But what I do, I've got a nice piece of finish sandpaper, a little piece of like wood inside. It's like a sheet of MDF really, and that just allows you something really flat, and it will take that down in seconds. So that's a really quick affair. And then when it comes to these little bits on the top, I'm going to build my terrain on top. So a little bit of sculpting substance on the top, be it like sculptor mold or something, which is essentially a pre-made modeler's paper mache, which dries very, very well. Because this is a harder density MDF, it won't warp at all. It's very, very forgiving. And then I can put static grass and things on the top, and then I'm going to try and learn how to do a cool water effect in here that isn't blue, because water isn't blue. But let's measure the distance here. So at the closest point, we are looking at about 10 to 11 centimeters. So I could build a bridge here and just kind of sculpt it in a little bit if I needed to. I'm just going to make sure I've actually got a little web page saved on my phone just to the side. I'm just going to check that distance. So the single arch bridge from Debris of War, which is a really nice bridge, sculpted by Paul Harrison, which is 110 millimeters long. Brilliant. For a river span of 50 millimeters. So it's got an arch underneath it that is 50 millimeters. So it might have to come in a bit to kind of make it look real, but the actual bridge will span this. But then I've got a double a double arch bridge. If I go back, which is £10. The single arch bridge is £7.50. This one is 145 millimeters. So that's easy peasy, isn't it? Because that's 14.5 centimeters. So that will reach there. I'll have two little arches, and I could actually use some of these little offcuts, like these little bits here, to do like a little bit of land between the arches, if that makes sense. So there's some use for this stuff already. It's going to take a little bit of sculpting. I didn't think when I'd done a little bit of research initially, I hadn't thought about that the bridge needs to cover the span. Actually, the arch needs to have quite a bit of a span in there. If the archway is only going to be here, it's going to look a little bit daft. So I might sculpt these bits in and then, you know, build the bridge across. But for 28mm, for 15mm, these are absolutely fantastic. Just look at that. That's so cool. If I turn that over now, you can see underneath how it all goes together. It is falling apart a little bit there, so it will need a little bit of glue. That is quite tight. I think that's an absolutely fantastic product, and that comes from AnomaliaOriginals.com. I say, once I'm able to edit this video, I will put all the links and all the stuff in the description of this video, so that you guys can go ahead and click. What the guys at the Pit Gaming Store said to me, that if you go onto their website, onto AnomaliaOriginals.com, use their 3D builder, find out what things you want, grab all the product codes, but then go to the Pit Gaming Store, which I'll include in the description later as well, because you'll get your discount for purchasing the items through them. That doesn't rip off Anomalia Originals, of course, because they've already made their money through selling to the Pit. But you know, you will save some money, and it shares the love within the industry, doesn't it? So there we go. Rivers straight. I'm going to do another video when I've got time. That's the reason why I don't do all these sorts of things all the time, because I actually I struggle to do just the Friday evening shows sometimes. Work and life, right? But as soon as I've got the time, I will do a whole video where I'm just going to sit here and make one, because that would be cool. And I'm going to use static grass, because I've got a proper static machine for it. The thing that creates the static electricity. I've got the resin. So there's lots of things that I can do here and build one up. And then of course there's actually building the bridge on there as well. So yeah, lots to look forward to. Really happy with these. I'm going to put a little bit of glue on it. And then even unpainted, well, I don't like an unpainted table, but even unpainted, it's something that you can use. You could just spray it if you wanted to, if you want to make it nice and quick. Really sturdy, resistant to not damage, but constant handling, etc. I think it's virtually a must-have for any kind of games group, or someone who wants to build a table quick with having not the same sort of layout stuff all the time. Anyway, let's come away from this workbench here. What button do I push? This one. Haven't done a product review for such a long time, I've forgotten how all the buttons work. That's really cool. I was getting really concerned as I was kind of pulling all those little bits out. Like, it doesn't look like it does in the book, but I just think I overlooked into it, because that's me. Yeah, I really like these. I think it would be very easy to fill up a lot of space with lots of terrain, but because they're quite low profile, you could just have like a stack of shelves, and you could just, if you were just to have like little foam spaces that you put on top of each other, you'd be able to keep them from getting damaged. So you could stack them on top of each other. Does that make sense? Just like a little lump of foam or some kind of ingenious shelving system, and you'd be able to store loads and loads of them. Of course, they're not all huge tiles like this. There are some slopes that come smaller, larger, whatever. So there's loads to explore. So go and have a look at AnomaliaOriginals.com. Have a look at their builder and just go crazy. They've got craters or divots in the ground. They've got grassy knolls. They've got hills. They've got slopes. They've got cliff edges that go both ways, so that kind of curve out or curve in. There's loads, and because of their booster system, it can go as high as you want it to, and it all clips together. And when I was sat there looking at it, I was like, oh, just another terrain tile thing. But then I kept on walking past it at Paul's down at Plymouth, and I had to have a chat with the guys. Like, you need to explain this to me because it looks really exciting. And we chatted for 45 minutes solidly about these tiles. And that's when I walked out with them there and then. So there we go. Go check out AnomaliaOriginals.com. Go and check out the Pit Gaming Store. And of course, if you like what we do here, do please consider subscribing to the show, because it really helps the show grow. And share it with a friend, share it with a colleague, share it with someone who you don't know. Shout it in the streets and get Easy 8 out there in the world. That would be brilliant. And I will see you next Friday and every Friday, wherever possible, for Easy 8's online painting club, where you can come along and just paint your models and get through that horde of grey plastic that we've all got. I've been doing loads this weekend. I feel quite accomplished with myself. And in the meantime, until next Friday, stay safe, be kind, keep on painting and making your terrain tiles, and I'll see you soon. Take care now. Bye-bye. I did a thing.